Today's media is so fake that half the time they're not even where they claim to be. Have you heard of the green screen? I'm going to kind of show you what the green screen looks like just in case you're not familiar with it. Many people in CNN, Fox News, they claim to be in one location when they're not. They're actually in a room like this called the green screen room. Well, if you think CNN and Fox News is nothing more than fantasy entertainment nowadays, well, a little illusion like this is not going to hurt anybody, I guess. But what would happen if one of the CIA assets that work for CNN, like Anderson Cooper, or a CIA asset like Hannity, decided to fool their audience and trick them? Well, this would be the perfect tool to use, the green screen, because you could actually say that you were sitting in the embassy, say like in London, the Ecuadorian embassy. You could say you're sitting there and look at the background, how real it looks. But in reality, you're in the green screen room. Yes. It's all an illusion, and a pretty convincing illusion at that. Imagine the money that Hollywood is saving. CNN, Fox, they're saving a lot of money. Now, one of the issues with the green screen room is the shadow. Getting the shadows just right is not easy. Now, it's possible. Imagine this guy. This looks like he's out in front of the, supposedly he could be out in front of the Ecuadorian embassy for all we know, whatever he says he is. But then, boom, we find out he's not. Let's watch it again and look how good the shadow is. He does pretty good with the shadow. He claims to be out in front of somewhere, but in reality, this is where he really is. Okay, I think you got a good idea what the green screen room is. And then we got Hannity. Now, I'm pretty sure he is walking out in front of the Ecuadorian embassy. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he is. Why don't we just go with he claims to be walking in front of the embassy, and we'll just leave it at that. And then he goes into the embassy, and we would imagine or assume that once he got into the embassy, he would be sitting like this, like the interview he did with Donald Trump. He would be sitting there with two matching chairs on the same level. Wouldn't that be common sense? You're doing an interview. You want to get kind of close to your subject. Your chairs would be matching. This is the way Hannity would normally do it. He might even mention during the interview, here we are at Trump Towers. And if you notice the heads, since they're right beside each other, Donald Trump's head and Hannity's head would be relatively the same size. But then we go to the so-called Julian Assange interview, where Julian Assange's head seems to be a lot bigger than Hannity's head. And there's other things. Why is Hannity not on the same level? Why is he in a different type of chair? You mean to tell me in the whole Ecuadorian embassy there are not two matching chairs, that we can put these two guys together close, like, you know, the way he was sitting there close to Donald Trump? Why would he do it different? Oh, because the little embassy room was too small. I don't believe it. There's lots of stuff going on in this interview that bothers me. Something's not right on many, many different levels. Mainly with the shadows. The shadows really, really bother me. Not so much behind Hannity. The shadows that are behind Hannity look like they were real or they were well done. What bothers me is where the shadows should be on Julian. They just don't seem to be in the right location. This shadow right here on the left side of his collar, that bugs me. I mean, there's no light over on that side of the room. Most of the light is to the left of Julian Assange. This shadow right there under his head, that really bothers me. There's no shadows behind on the cabinet there. Everything on this video seems weird to me. When I see the outline of his head and I compare it to the background, it doesn't seem natural. Of course, I do apologize. The poor quality of the picture I'm showing you, you're not going to be able to see the shadows that I'm pointing out. All these details are not going to be easy to see here. I just point them out for you, so then you go back to the original video, you watch it, and you start asking, why is this shadow here if there's no light on that side of the room? And why is the shadow just I'm just asking you, if you're going to watch this video, go back and watch it again and look at the shadows and tell me you don't think something's amiss. I'm here to tell you that this is probably an illusion. I do not believe that Julian Assange is sitting there in the embassy bedroom or whatever room they claim this is. I believe this is a green screen illusion. And I believe that Hannity is trying to fool his audience. And that's weird because listen to what he said during the interview.
Dishonest? They're not identifying it to their audiences. They claim that they're objective journalists.
It's ethically corrupt.
It's funny that he would use words like that, dishonest, not disclosing to his audience where he might be or where Julian Assange might be. You assume that he's there. He tells you he went to London. Let me ask you this. If it were to turn out that this was an illusion, that they used a green screen and they really weren't where they were supposed to be, would Hannity lose his job, or would they just give him a 3-month vacation like, who was it, Brian Williams? Brian Williams was lying to his audience and he just came back. It doesn't matter. It's all entertainment now. But I tell you, I just got to go with my gut feeling. And when I watched this video, this interview, I thought there was so many weird things happening. It just didn't seem normal. It wasn't regular. And when I look at the shadows, I ask you, go back and watch the interview. Look at the shadows. Look at the icon. You know what's really weird? Julian Assange looks like he's looking in a different direction than Hannity, and Hannity looks like he's looking in a different direction. I mean, there's hardly anything that looks normal in this interview. It's just so weird. It makes me think that they're trying to pull one over our eyes here. I think it's an illusion. I think it's a green screen studio effect. I don't even believe that Julian Assange is in the same room with Hannity. That's how weird this is. I believe that these people are trying to pull something so manipulative. I believe that Hannity's in one room. Hannity may even be there in the embassy room, and I believe Assange is somewhere else. And somehow they put this together. I mean, this is technology working. Trust me, this technology is available, and I just ask you to keep an open mind. Go back and watch the video. Go back and watch the interview now if you didn't know about this technology and say, hey, anything's possible. These bastards are trying to fool us, but they're not doing a very good job of it, I can tell you that.